Conversations with My Sister, a live talk experience with delegates, queens, and allies of the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant about the world of pageantry and various daily topics. I am Director Lorene Coleman Ross, a woman full of ambition, passion, and a love for my fellow sister. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us, the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant, and all of those of our supporter love and our sisters of the Miss Full Figure USA brand. I am so excited tonight. Tonight is the last day to celebrate Pride nationally. Notice I said nationally because it's celebrated more than just in this month. I am about to bring in one of the most fabulous women that I ever got an opportunity to meet and who lives nothing but gracefully in what she considers bold, beautiful, and fabulous. You heard me say fabulous again. She is no other than my CEO and founder of the Miss Full Figure USA pageant brand. Yes, brand, because we're in all the states, honey, all the states. If you don't have a pageant in your state, you can come to at large. I'll talk about that later. Now, we'll talk about it later. But without further ado, I want to introduce to you Teresa Sparkle Randolph. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hi, how are you?
Oh, hey, mother. You know, you can see right now she out there working on the last day of Pride. She's out there already in front of. Where are you at right now, Miss T? Tell her where were you at?
Well, I'm at East Orange City Hall where I was honored last year. And tonight, one of my best friends, Miss Karen, was honored for what she does for the community. And we came out to support. And I said, why not stand and have my my talk with you and all these wonderful people in front of the flag while we're right here? Why not make it happen?
Come on now. Well, I love it because it's just waving back there and it's breezy. You looking real pretty. I love it all. Well, you see, tonight I pulled out my flower crown. You know, I pulled out my flower crown because I always tell it, let's paint. You know, the gay supporters are more in the colors than y'all are, pretty much, because we try to make sure that you know we love you and we willing to show out for you. And,
I love it.
It's quite awesome. Well, this is our fireside chat to our Pride weekend, our Pride Live. And I wanted to just talk to you about a couple of things. The first thing I want to talk to you about, Miss T, is that you know the history because you live in the history right now of Pride. You live where things started at in 1969, Stonewall in the NYC. That's what started it all, where we're going to celebrate and you're not going to let people quiet us down. What do Stonewall mean to you? What did that mean to you when you got old enough to recognize that it did something for what you decided to move forward with?
Well, it showed Stonewall means to me strength. It means to me that anyone can love anyone, and love is in the air. And it showed power that we're going to definitely make sure that everyone knows that I am who I am, and I'm going to be who I'm going to be. And they stood tall and said, we're not going to have it. And when that incident went on, you know, people were like, oh my God. So it did start there. And gay is everything. LGBTQIA plus community. Those are the letters. And Stonewall really makes a major significance amongst all who are with the LGBTQIA community.
Well, you know, I think also as a pageant creator, you created a pageant, Miss Full Figure. Yes. You created that pageant and you created it with different things under it. But the one thing that I love about it is that we are inclusive. Of course, currently right now, we do not have a transgender category and things of that nature, but we do open our doors widely for their support and for the support of the women of the lesbian community that would like to compete as well in our pageant as well, because we don't judge you on that. We judge you on person. We don't judge you on what you choose to love and who you choose to love. Miss T, when you told the world that, hey, look, I love women, because I know Mama Randolph, okay? I know her a little bit, just a little bit. And I love that woman to death. Was Mother Randolph the first woman you told, "Hey, mom, guess what? You're gonna have a daughter-in-law"?
No. No. Um, it's funny you said that. My mom learned about it when I gave a party,
Oh,
and she said, "When the guy's gonna show up?" I said, "They're not gonna show up." And it was like around 400 women in there. She said, "Oh, so you giving this party? You know this many people like this? I got your back. Now, what we gonna do to monopolize and make sure it goes over well?"
see,
Very supportive.
and I knew that conversation was excellent because your mother gave me open arms along with other women who became part of your pageant brand. And she's definitely an example of love is love, period. You can come as you are, and she will be there to open her arms to say, look, you can come in. So I think that's amazing that you have that type of support. What would you say to someone who necessarily haven't came around to where Mama Randolph is at if one of their children came to them?
Well, there's a lot of that going on. However, with social media now, it's a little different. It's not as closeted. You know, now you can Google any Google. You don't have to look up an encyclopedia. You could Google anything and look up anything. But I just say live within yourself. Be your real self. Okay. Try to
Mhm.
be your real self. And me at my age, I've learned to be my real self. And people say, how can you go out there and just be like that? I said, because I'm being my real self. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
not any other person but Teresa Randolph. So when you know who you are, then who cares what anybody else thinks? And you know what? My mom and my dad knew, so I'm fine. The
I
whole
know.
other world, they knew too. However, they embraced me. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the way I looked,
Mhm.
the way I look. You know,
Listen,
maybe it's
like,
because of, but I got through barriers and doors that I know some aggressive women wouldn't have been able to do. But when I got through those doors and they did learn who I was, it was like, oh, okay, right, this is what I'm doing. So,
mm,
you know, all still open arms and I explain myself and I don't mind people asking questions. People wanted to leave relationships before. They're like, oh my God, you're just like me. You're feminine. I'm in a wrong relationship. I'd rather be in something else. So I give them words of encouragement and say, live your best life. You got to live your life or you will be mad at yourself if you didn't go through what you wanted to go through emotionally, physically, and mentally.
makes sense to me. You kind of went into the next question I have is how do you live authentically? And you answered it by just basically saying, I'm Miss Teresa and you take me as I am. And I look, listen, it's been times I've been like, oh my God, that's my CEO. What she do? Okay. But the thing is, nobody can say that you won't be who you are. And
Yeah.
that's amazing. And to give that to not only just, the gay community, but, just giving it to other women too. Because sometimes we got to be able to be open to learn from each other. You know what I mean? Learning
I
what
do know what you mean, Mrs. Ross, and I love that you're doing this. This is amazing. Every year you've done it, and just keep supporting. That's all you can do because we're people. Y'all are people. Everybody, we bleed the same blood. Everybody's the same. You know, just let's make this world a better and happier place.
I agree. Because I tell people, as long as I'm dating the same species, I'm doing what God told me to do. That's where it came out. And that goes to my conversation. Miss T, you wanted the reason why I started to do this because in 2020, my daughter came to me, my youngest daughter, and said, Mom, I think I like both. And I said, okay, can you talk to me a little bit more about that? Because like you said, social media, people making things trends. We ain't doing no trends, baby. We ain't doing no trends, okay? What we doing is we're gonna make sure this is something that you want and it doesn't matter to you, then I'm gonna be here to love you through it. Or
Right. That's right.
you know what I mean? So,
That's
and
right.
with me having connections not only to her, but to my sister, God rest her soul, who was a dancer. So she was around a lot of different walks of entertainment, put it in that way. And she
Right.
had a good time too. And this is the last question I have for you. My next question for you, Miss T, is what is pride to you? Uh-oh. You went out, Miss T. I can't hear you.
Hold
Unmute.
on 1 second, Miss Ross. 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
And there were fire engines and trains going by and planes and things. So what does pride mean to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Pride means to me personality, resilience, independence,
Come on.
diva,
Come on, Diva.
and everything.
And everything. I just love how you make sure people see that beautiful face when you end with those punchlines. And
Yes.
I love it. I just want to make sure that you know that you are truly appreciated and always the one, as I call you as well as my CEO, I'll still look at you as a sister as well. And that I know that it's not always easy being in leadership. God knows I know it's not always easy. And then trying to live the best life at the same time sometimes can do a little bit of a clash to it.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate how you're being inclusive, because you could have just not been inclusive, but you
Okay.
are inclusive, and we are inclusive because of that. And I know, first of all, shout out to Miss Jackie too. I know she might
Yes.
be with
He
you
just
right.
left. Yes.
Yeah, but I want to shout out to her. I know she's been your partner for a while, and she's been through this process with you. She
Yes.
loves you as you are as well. She is a sweet person too, and congratulations on Miss Karen on being recognized on her
Yes.
initiative in the community as well, and the fact that you did that a year prior and received that says a lot about the people you surround yourself around, and that's good too. So, Miss T, if you had to give one piece of something to leave people, something to think about when it comes to the gay community, what would it be?
If I was to leave something, I would leave this. It's time to get louder.
Mm.
It's time to get louder. Let them know we're here. Okay, you see P Valley. What's going on there? The big controversy. Oh, the two guys now. Oh, it was all right when it was the girls. Now
Mhm.
it's the two guys. People got stuff going on. Get louder. Speak out. We're equal. It don't go back into that rainbow closet.
Mm.
Don't go back underneath that bed and hide. Put on those bouncing shoes and you hold your head up high and you strut down the street like you own it.
Come on
Because
now.
you are somebody, and guess what? You are enough.
I love that. You are enough. And you're right. It's so funny. Well, not funny. It's interesting you brought that up, because I saw something not too long ago where they showed the two women kissing and they showed the two men kissing. They asked the question, well, what's the difference? It's what do you see as a difference? And a lot of time what it is that the acceptance, because men think they can get into the middle of the other sex with the two women, where you're not even invited, because they ain't got nothing to say anything to you. So they accept
Right.
it more and they look at it a little bit different. It's kind of like how we deal with being full figure women versus women of a smaller size. What's really the difference? What's
Right.
really the difference? You know what I mean?
Right.
If you dress it the way it's supposed to be dressed and respect what it is, it all looks the same. It's the same act. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it,
I love it. Oh my God.
it's the same act. Well, I appreciate you, Miss T, for having this fireside chat with me. You've been amazing. Before Miss T leave, I just want to let everybody know, stay tuned into the Miss Full Figure USA page, because next up we have our Caribbean pageant and our at-large pageant that's happening in July. You can still purchase tickets. You want to get your tickets early, because after, I think, the middle of July, they're going to go up, and you don't want to have to pay the up price. So you might as well stop sleeping on it. And, give a gift to Miss Teresa today. Buy your ticket today for Pride. Celebrate Pride. Buy the
I
ticket
love
today.
it.
You know what I mean? And you'll see it. All right, Miss T. Bye.
Bye. See you. Thank you for having me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks,
Yes,
Miss Clarke. Pride, pride, pride.
So that was our CEO and founder, Miss Teresa Sparkle Randolph, and our fireside chat. It's a lot, and I remember last time me and her have a conversation. She didn't want the pageant to be looked at as a gay pageant. She wanted to look at it as a pageant for women. And in doing that, it made it inclusive for all women, no matter what you decided to do in your love and who you decided to love. So I'm excited about that. Now we're about to get into my panel, honey. I am so excited about this panel, baby. Let me tell you something. I've been blessed because I've been around good people. no matter who they decide to love. Actually, one of my panelists, his husband, I'm in love with his husband too. You know, I be telling them all the time, oh my God, y'all done hit gold. Y'all done take care of each other, and they are awesome. And then my sister Purusha and her wife Marsha, and then Paul. I just met Paul. I just met Paul last year, and I just love him. I just love him so much. It makes me feel like I didn't know him forever. But without further ado, I'm just about to bring them all in. Hey sis, how you doing?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, baby. And
Hi,
then
sister.
look, your wife, where she at? Always late. Marsha,
I'm here. Let me in.
you
You
in?
in there, but your camera is off.
That's how it works.
And then you have, hey Paul. Oh, Paul.
Oh my gosh, can you guys see me?
I don't see you.
It's
Where's your
always
camera?
a simple
Allow
thing,
camera.
isn't it?
It was seeing him at first. I'm gonna pull him out before he can fix it. And here we go. Oh, Ron. Hey, Ron. Did you hear me?
I'm so far away. Let me slide up.
You hear me just talking about your husband?
I did.
And Paul. There you
Hi
go.
guys, how are you?
Hi. This is a beautiful group, ain't it? Ain't it a beautiful group?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just telling Miss Teresa. Look, I knew I was gonna be the only one blushing in all the colors because you know.
Look, I got my
Yes.
pride earrings on.
Hold on. Here we go.
All mine is in the laundry.
Okay.
Well, if you don't mind, you just taking a moment just to introduce each one of yourselves and do me a favor. After you introduce yourself, can you just say what pride means to you? I'm gonna start with you, Purusha.
Oh my. Hello, everyone. My name is Purusha Jones-Shearin. I am the pageant director and co-founder of the Miss Full Figure North Carolina and Virginia pageant. I also am the owner and operator of Essence Soul Creations. I make jewelry and fascinators and all that kind of stuff. And I am married to this beautiful woman right here with me that's on the line, Miss Marsha Jones-Shearin. She forgot the Jones. You better get it together. Okay, get into
All
it.
the way.
All right. What does pride mean to me? Pride means embracing who you are as you are and loving the fact that it is okay to know that love is love.
Mm.
Okay.
I love that.
I mean that's what it really is, all encompassing, right? Because if pride is, you don't necessarily have to wear it on your sleeve, but be who you are, love who you are, and know that loving the next person, loving another woman, loving another man, loving whoever, that be prideful in that and know that love is truly love.
I love that, Perusia. Marsha, before you get in trouble, Joan Sharon, introduce yourself and tell people what pride means to you, dear.
All right. I am Marsha Jones-Shearin, the other half to Miss Purusha Jones-Shearin. I am the assistant director to Miss Full Figure North Carolina and Virginia pageants. I like to say I'm the assistant to the director, but I am the assistant to the pageant. Right, right. Look at her face. I am also the owner and creator of Marsha K Designs websites and Marsha K Travel. So hit me up if you have travel needs or if you need a website. I'm happy to assist and help. Put that little plug in for myself. But anyway, what pride means to me, um, you know, a lot of people think pride stops at your sexuality, but for me, it's a lot bigger than that because we in our community have always picked up the flag and we have always championed everyone's rights, right? We all kind of clutched our pearls and held our breath when this Roe versus Wade decision came down. And even though it may not affect the majority of the pride community, but it affects all of us, right? And making a decision like that, if we don't stand for something, we'll fall for everything. And that Roe versus Wade decision is so big because it will eventually, in my mind's eye, point to us. So pride, what pride means to us is picking up the flag, even when it has nothing to do with our cause, sexuality, but us as a community whole, black, white, Indian, Asian, it doesn't matter. We are inclusive, we are whole, and we each have to champion each other. So that's what pride means to me.
Thank you, Marsha. I was going to tap a little bit on Roe vs. Wade because I do think that it's kind of like we want to make sure it doesn't become a pattern when we have made certain changes and certain progress in the United States to be inclusive in so many different ways. And
That's
then
right.
to happen, put me in a whole different headspace as a woman, period, and in our rights. But yeah, thank you. Ron,
Hey,
Ron, baby, this is your third time with me.
I know. And you're going to make me follow these two lovely ladies with their pride statements. And I'm going to say, I don't know what I'm going to say now. They took my answer. No,
They took your answer, but put it in your style.
I know, right? So good evening, everyone. Good evening, panel. Lorraine, thank you again for having me back. My name is Ron. I am the owner of Velve Door. We are a vintage and becoming more modern resale and styling company. We specialize in styling curvy and plus size beauties, but we do it all. We love to make women and men feel beautiful and attractive and stylish and sexy and all of the above. So another shameless plug, if you need styling, definitely hit me up, men and women. So prior to me, I mean, really, these ladies, they hit it on the head, but just living that unapologetic self, like however you are feeling, to the point of, you don't have to wear it on your sleeve to be proud, to be, fighting with your neighbor, your friend, your spouse, but just living your truth and 100% of the time.
Mhm.
Quick story, I, work for I work in corporate America, and I'm now just learning after being with this company for 3 years to be me all the time, even at work. And that was something that was very important to me, coming into this company, and I feel like I finally am truly living who I am all the time. So it's not a secret. As Lorraine mentioned, my husband DJ, everyone knows about DJ. So yeah, I think living yourself all the time, no matter where you are and however you want to live that way. You don't have to, because I'm living a certain way doesn't make your way better or worse.
I love that. See, you did just fine, Ron. You did, and you even plugged in my husband.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good, I know.
Paul,
Hi, Miss Ross. What's going on?
you know what? Nothing much but beauty on my screen. Now talk about it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, everyone, nice to meet you guys. Miss Ross, thank you so much for having me. And panel, great to meet you guys. I am Paul Joseph. I'm the founder and CEO of the Paul Joseph Company. So, the Paul Joseph Company functions majority on the East Coast, but without any limitation, in the effect that we provide beauty and any service creatively to our clientele. So I've had the pleasure of working New York Fashion Week a number of years with 3 Divas Studio. I've had the pleasure of serving Miss Ross and Miss Full Figure DMV. And I've also had the pleasure of working with some celebs and other clientele that function in government. So up and coming, definitely working with a network of artists throughout the DMV. My definition of pride, I think I would like to defer to respect. I think pride often lends you to support the endeavors of those before you. As we stand up on the shoulders of everyone that has come before us, we have to take pride in what they've done and what we're moving to accomplish.
Mhm.
I definitely want to say that it compels one to respect the pavement and every light on that path that they take. There's an amount of deference we have to offer to our predecessors in terms of the LGBTQIA plus, in making sure that we pick up the torch and carry on every effort and every task that they left us to take care of, and not only in our community but in all communities.
Mm-hmm.
So you put that so nicely in a package, Paul. And I know something that you haven't said. You are a very well loved educator.
I am.
Yes.
So I how'd you find that out?
Come on.
I am a teacher, yes, of 10 years now. I got my bachelor's degree at Delaware State University in integrated studies with a dual emphasis in education and English. And I finished my master's of education this past fall. And
Congratulations.
yes.
Well, I say that because that means that you are around a lot of youth, and I know for a fact that you are 100% authentically you in all spaces. Being around the youth, and it's I think it's middle age, like junior high school,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
School.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, how do you live your life authentically in that space, and how do you feel that how you feel it translates to the youth that's part of the community?
It has Okay, I guess I have to be authentically myself when I answer this. It has been tough. It has been a challenge. I was not always able to, as Ron said, function in the capacity at my job as myself. And so initially, I started teaching at 22, and I went into it with the forethought that, okay, you are a Black male educator. There are only 2% of us in America. Now, not only that, but I'm also a Black gay male educator. And so, I'm a double minority within that. I tried to, what I learned was that without me being myself, I couldn't make a connection to my kids. My first week when I started working, and I'll even refer to the school, Samuel Ogle Middle School, I was wearing shirt and tie every day, and I had this facade, and I had this image that I wanted to maintain in order to make sure that I played it safe, and it didn't work. My kids were reluctant to connect with me, to talk with me. And so a mentor within the building says, how are you doing? How are the kids receiving you? And I said, they're doing okay. I didn't have any buck back. But as time grew and I started to reveal who I was and have fun and entertain and I'm a joyful person, I realized my kids were starting to ping. That's when they were considering me family. That's when my family started to want to work with me more because they knew I was being myself and just creating an atmosphere where everyone felt safe and everyone was included. And I recognized the diversity in the room because not only do we see Black gay men, in real world, we see it in the classroom. Some of my children are bisexual or gay or otherwise curious or otherwise pansexual. And so I have to be respectful of that. And once again, like I said, offer them the ability to take pride in themselves as they respect me and as I pass them the torch.
I love that. And then you'll hear me say I love that a lot because I really will be loving stuff. And I love it because, again, I shared not too long ago that my youngest daughter had mentioned that she was bisexual. And I told her, and my husband told her, we're going to love you regardless on what you decide or how you choose to live your life, as long as you're not being a phase. We don't do phase. And I think sometimes that conversation needs to happen as well because being popular can make you do things or try to do things that it makes popular. Let me put it like that. I mean, I remember in school, even when I was in school, and I'm about to be 44. And when I was in junior high school, honey, that was in the early 90s, honey. You was with the gay boy on the cheerleading team. Honey, we loved him. Okay. He was it. You know what I mean? We wanted to be with him because, even though the boys would not give him the best time, but he had his girl tribe. You want to be with that person because it was full of energy. When they lived their best life, lived who they were, it was that energy. And you would see yourself going towards it. And it wasn't because he was gay. You know what it really was? It was because he gave you happy energy.
Authentic.
Yeah. It's like, man, if he don't care, why I care?
Right.
Everybody feels real good about themselves because of that energy. And I appreciate you. And I'm going to thank you for the moms of those children, if no one have ever came to you and said thank you, because more and more people live authentically, our children will do that, and it will continue to grow, and we'll have better humans when they become adults. We'll have better humans, period, at that time. Purusha, you being a pageant director, we see a whole lot, baby. We see a whole lot. We got a whole lot that come through it. So with that, what would you like someone to know? Because I know I have had this question where though a woman had to feel that she had to let me know that she was gay as if it was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had to deal with that particular um, conversation to reassure her that that's not something you have to do here?
Um, Actually, I haven't. Each year brings different results, right?
Hmm.
I think I don't think there's a year that there wasn't at least one gay person or bisexual or lesbian woman amongst the group. But I don't think they've always felt like they had to share with me just because I am, you know. If anything, they just eventually, like, it was always so weird, it was always like after the pageant is over, well, Miss P, you know I'm gay, right? No, like, why would I assume that?
Why does it matter?
Right, why does it matter at this point? Why, and it wouldn't have
Or
mattered
anything?
then either, but I haven't had people actually feel like they had to tell me. I remember my first year, I did have one young lady that said that because the people that won because we were gay and we were sleeping with them. Yeah. So we have had that happen before. It was bizarre. It was bizarre, and she was a bizarre individual. However, life happens. Like, people assume all kinds of things, but at the end of the day, baby, when it comes to pageantry, what those judges say is what those judges say. They don't have nothing to do with me. Okay. But on the flip side of that, no, I haven't had that happen. I've been fortunate enough not to have that happen. I think that if people, if you owning who you are, um you don't necessarily, like we continue to say, you don't necessarily have to wear it on your sleeve. um and it will come out eventually. If it doesn't come out at all, I would be none the wiser. Like, I probably wouldn't really
Just fine.
follow.
Just so fine. And I only asked the question because that ended up being the case with me. After a while, they was like, "Oh, this doesn't matter. I don't have to guard myself. I can be myself in this
Right,
space, and I am accepted." And usually, when people have to say something, it's because they don't feel that they have that acceptance, and they don't want it to be a shock rider or anything that's going to hinder them before they get in the middle of the process.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
that's what I experienced. But I just really, when it came to me, I was just like, baby, it don't matter. First of all, who you kiss ain't got nothing to do with me. And who you love is all about you. So that
right,
really has nothing to do with me. Ron,
right.
you
Oh,
know,
I wanted to interject. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead, Purusha.
No, I was gonna say that, I think a lot of times, unfortunately, um, to your point, as far as that's concerned, a lot of times, unfortunately, I've run into situations where young women don't enter the pageant because they're gay. I have
Mm,
run into that. And I'm like, but you're a woman, right? You're feminine. You meet the criteria. What does your sexuality have to do? And this is before them even knowing who I am, And I'm like, well, I promise you, you're going to be okay. And I don't say, oh, it's because I'm gay. It's like, it's you're human, right? You're a female, you're a naturally born female, you are between the age of 21 and 60. Like, what are we talking about here? So I have had that happen before. And I just want to make sure to reassure people that no matter your sexuality, you are welcome.
I love that. Again,
Mhm.
I said it again. It's my catchphrase for the night, guys. I love that. I love that.
Sorry, Ron.
Ron, yeah, Ron, you said that you went into this new position saying, okay, I'm gonna be all of me. Can
Mhm.
you talk about when you wasn't all of you and what made you say and make the decision to move into being all of Ron?
Honestly, it was too much work. It was too much work. I would wake up in the morning, and something as simple as getting dressed for work. I love clothes. You guys who know me, who follow me, I love clothes. I love fashion. I love to be creative. And I had the hardest time finding some jeans that were plain jeans that fit a certain way,
Hmm.
a button down that fit a certain way, a certain color, a cardigan, a sweater, like something to like kind of play fashion down. And it became kind of stressful actually, because it's like I have so many clothes and I'm, going through this select few, and I refuse to go out and buy work clothes or clothes that look like everyone else, because it just didn't make sense to me. Um, so a lot of my changes and a lot of my thought processes have changed just because we've gone through a pandemic, we've gone through this, we've lost loved ones, and it's life is so short, and it's like, why am I trying to conform myself to this box? And it was a box that I really was creating for myself, because my job, I work for Capital One, and it's a very open, be who you are, come as you are. But to Paul's point, a black gay man coming in, you kind of think like, okay, maybe I don't want to be out, I don't want to be noticed, I want to kind of like fade into the back a little bit. And I stopped that. It was like, I'm gonna get color on my nails, I'm gonna get my nails done, I'm going to dye my hair blonde, like I'm just gonna do whatever I want to do, because why not? I had two nose rings now. I didn't have that, 2 years ago. It's like I've wanted them forever, and like now I'm like, well, why am I not getting this stuff? It's not it's not stopping me from getting the job. It's not stopping my qualifications. It's not stopping anything about my brain or my mind. So why am I trying to put myself in this box? So really, once I got to the point of, you know, wanting that stress-free environment, at least in my mind, clearing that mental space of not even having, I'm going to get up and I'm going to dress how I feel that day. If I want to wear skinny jeans and some sneakers, I'm going to do that. If I want to wear a blazer, I'm going to do that. If I want to wear color, I'm going to do that. So that just freed up a whole nother space in my mind to, occupy some other stuff, other things, for business, or my life, my relationship, our family, whatever. It's just that brain space is clear now.
Yeah, I know it can be really hard downplaying and watering yourself down for other people comfortability. And that's something that is always, unfortunately, a part of being gay. You're trying to water yourself down for people who won't be in your business that much for
Exactly.
those for a little while. And
Right.
then you realize, you know what? I ain't doing that. I,
Right.
I ain't doing that for nobody. And that actually goes in different areas of life and different people, period. Because for me, as a woman, and then being a plus size woman, people will try to tell you what you can't wear, what you can't do, and what you should look like. It's and all this. And now I believe it's rules now. Come on now. I'm
Mhm.
not throwing out the rules. I'm not throwing out the rules. And when I mean by rules, I mean I believe we should look just as neat as clean as the next one. I
Right.
don't believe just because it comes in your size you can wear it. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't. I
Right.
believe that you're supposed to wear things that flatter your body and bring out your best personality. You're
That's right.
supposed to do things that make sense for you, but do it in a way where you're not. Excuse me, I got a little fly. I don't know where it came from. I'm in my house. Where you come from? I'm in my screen. Sorry. Um, that uh that push us to certain things, and to hear you say that you was like no more. By the way, I just love what's happening with you, Ron. You are really coming out in so many different ways in your fashion and what you want to give to the people, honey. These
Thank
segments that's happening on IG, I'm like, wait a minute, how he do that transition? I'm trying to learn some stuff now. But you do good things, and you always have a banging purse to finish out a park,
thank you.
a
Thank
banging bag to finish out an outfit. Okay,
That's,
so I love that.
that's funny you say that too, because I stopped carrying backpacks in my senior year of high school. I usually carry a tote or some type of bag, and I was like, let me get my bag. Let me have a work bag, like, because I've always, why not? So that's one thing that was a big change, and everybody's like, oh, I like that bag. I have a Telfar bag that I carry to work now, and everybody's like, oh, you have one of those? I'm like, okay, yes, like I didn't want that attention before. Now I just kind of say, yep, and I keep it moving. Like it's
Honey,
okay.
I got my two favorite colors, green and purple.
Exactly.
Green and purple. I have them. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I have them. Marsha, you had, I know that you served our country, pretty lady.
I
And
do.
your family, you have a host of family that also served our country.
That's
And
right.
and being a lesbian woman inside of service, how was that for you?
You know, I'm the oldest person on your panel today.
So you say,
And when I came through, it was not okay to serve and be gay. You could get excommunicated and kicked out of the service and branch if it was known that you were gay. And it's interesting because I knew when I went in that I knew, we all know at some point in our lives, I feel like I've always been, right, gay. Didn't understand what gay meant until I got older. My first girlfriend was before I went into the service. So I knew who I was and I knew the risk as a gay woman that I was running going into the service, but I was determined to serve, you know? And it's interesting because you find a tribe of other men and women who are also gay and lesbian, and you don't ever talk about it, but you start to hear. I honestly think the people who served in the Navy prior to it being okay to be gay are the ones who wrote the dictionary on pronouns, right? So who you dating? Oh, they wrote me a letter.
Mm.
Or they're going to come and see me this weekend. It was never he or she, but if you heard someone use that alternate pronoun, oh, you're my family.
it was another language.
Right. And I served in Virginia in Norfolk, Va Beach area, and there was this little seedy little club about as big as my office right now, and that's where we hung out. That was our spot. And we all knew each other. When we were on the ship together. We had our own language. We stuck together. And even though I think the people on the outside could probably guess that we were different, it really didn't matter. So I applaud really these young kids who are serving authentically today, both as gay or lesbian and transgender. That thing right there just excites me to no end that our government will allow a transgendered male or female to serve proudly. And it was unheard of when I came through. So, it's like, living that authentic life. I think you're getting the best part of that service member if they are allowed, right, to live authentically. Paul, I think you said it best. These kids kind of woke up and they heard you for the first time when you started to be authentic. Your coworkers, Ron, started to see you for the first time when you were living authentically. And it wasn't what you showed on the outside, it was what you opened up and you let them see on the inside. And I think it lets people relax around you too. People are like, they don't have to be uptight because they sense that from you automatically. But when you are living your authentic life, your shoulders relax. Whew, the pressure comes off the top of your head. You can enjoy yourself and the people around you. And that we don't care. This is my wife. You have a problem with it? That's not my issue. It's your issue. You know? If Purusha and I wake up and we don't like each other, that's our issue. It has nothing to do with you. So
They don't have nothing to do with being gay either. That happens in heterosexual and gay marriage.
That's right. That's right.
Each time be like, today you are not my friend. I mean,
That's right.
like you. That doesn't mean I don't love you, but I don't like you today.
That's right.
That's right. Well, I'm gonna talk to you about another thing I sort of saying is, what is the world without color?
Mm.
What is a world without color? So when you think about it, we to celebrate the community, because I don't know all the alphabets in order, so that's why y'all keep hearing me saying the community, because it got bigger than I can remember.
Oh,
Okay,
there's a lot. There's
I'm gonna,
many.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just gonna say the community. I love you all, but the most vibrant thing that makes people smile, even
Mm.
in the midst of rain, is a rainbow.
Mm.
And
Can
it's
I answer that real quick? I
sure.
just want to share because when I was, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, my grandmother had a picture of my mom, black and white picture, and she was sad. And I remember looking at this picture and I couldn't understand why mama was so sad. And it finally dawned on me the world was black and white when mama was a little girl. And I remember asking my grandma, when did the world turn color? And she was like, what? The picture of mama, it's in black and white. The world was black and white. She goes, no, girl, everything, it's always been color. And I was like, oh. But that was the first, my mother's expression on that picture, because she was sad. She did not want to take that picture. And the
Mm,
world around her was black and white. That right there answers your question. To me, that's what color means.
mm. What you speaking on your mind, Paul? I feel like something is sitting on your head right now, and you ready to express.
This is so interesting. I came into this. Okay, so I came into it with my makeup hat on as a makeup artist. I'm going to talk about pride. I'm putting on my educator hat. So definitely, we talk about critical race theory and we talk about diversity and inclusion. I definitely recognize the importance in diversity. When we talk about Dr. Joan, oh my goodness, I forget her last name. She often talks about this theory. They say America is this melting pot. Everybody has to be watered down and broken down. She said, no, well, we need America. We need America to be a salad.
Come on.
She said, we need some cucumber in it. We need some tomato. We need, cheese, a good crouton, some wontons, a little pasta, a little salmon.
Come
And
on.
so I recognize that all these colors, you have to have that in order for it to be a vibrant experience, in order for it to be attractive, in order for it to catch the eye. And so I tell my kids, be yourself. In my classroom, it's a safe space. And I offer them that so that they understand when they go into the world that they are responsible for creating the same safe space in their work environments and in churches and in restaurants and in all shopping malls and stores. And that way, that's when I think things really do work out. We can't have a world without color. Often my educator friends, some of different persuasions will say, I don't see color. And I say, you should. I say, take the time to do so and understand that each and every color, each and every person will come with different benefits and otherwise trial, tribulation, challenges, and rewards. But learn how to interact, learn how to have those experiences where we learn from each other, where we shake things up and really take something away from the experience.
I love it.
And it's so when you just say, "Oh, I just was ready for my makeup," baby, I get deep. I try to
I give it to you.
feel into the soul and to the people who are watching us, and for you as well to be a panelist. Come on, makeup is easy for you to talk about because it's something that people. It's a language that everybody speaks. I want to be pretty, and he can make me look that way. You know what I mean? But to talk about the person behind the art, that's what I want to show people. I want to show people that because of your choice does not define everything about you.
But I
And
definitely think that thought there is what a lot of people need to apply to their experiences with people of the LGBTQIA plus community. Every drag queen you meet has a story. Every woman who is a lesbian that you meet, or otherwise a trans man, has a story. There's something there that we all can benefit from. And often what you see in terms of relationship, when you see odd pairings, these people have connected on some deeper level than necessarily you just haven't been exposed to yet. I had the opportunity now to teach in a community where I lived. And so me and my kids connect on the capacity that we know the condition of their homes. I know exactly what their homes look like because I've lived there. My life now totally different than theirs. I am gay, I date men, etc., etc. My kids aren't dating; they're growing up. But still, just the fact that they can respect, okay, he came up out of this. he went along that path. And so not only is pride just related to me as a Black gay man, but it's related to my experience, and they respect that.
And that is where we at right now. Showing the respect. Perusia, my dear sister, how did you find your truth, sweetheart? How did you find your truth? I know from what I mean by that is, when you settled in, would you say, hey, I identify as a gay woman. This is what I identify as. How did you find your truth?
Um, that is a great question. Let's see. I actually recognized that I was attracted to women in high school, but it wasn't until college that I actually came out. Um, and how I identified my truth was actually telling my mom for the first time and saying, you know what, this is me. But the funny thing is that I remember going to her and telling her, and avoiding having that conversation with her for a very, very long time. But she's gay also, so it was a very hard conversation for me. So much so that I remember overhearing her talking to like my aunt or someone, a friend of the family, and saying, did I do that to her? You know what I'm saying? Like her feeling guilty about the fact that her daughter is now a lesbian, you know? But finding my truth, and even after telling her though, I mean, she's married. She just had her 8th anniversary to her wonderful partner Carol, and it actually took me a very long time, even after college, even after well, I've been out of school for a long time, but it took me a long time to really accept the fact that I was in the gay and lesbian community. I was in actually denial of it for a very long time, um, because I didn't know what people would think. I don't know what people would say. I was always like, just like, I mean, even to this day, I don't wear it on my sleeve. Everybody knows who my partner is. I mean, I don't hide her by any stretch of the imagination. You go to my Facebook page, it says married to Marsha Jones-Shearin. You scroll down our Facebook page, you see pictures of us, right? Um, but it probably wasn't until, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know at what point I accepted who I was. But I mean, marrying a woman was enough to kind of say, okay, I'm in my truth now. you know. So it was a process. It was a process, even for me as a feminine woman that could quote unquote pass, if you will. It definitely was a process for me because I after hearing my mom say, well, was it my fault? It kind of took me a while to embrace the fact that it really wasn't her fault. It just was what it was, you know? So hopefully I answered that okay. But yeah,
Well,
it was in a roundabout way. Yeah.
Well, what I found out from your answer is that it still is a journey for you in some way, shape, or form.
Hmm.
And that you accepted the fact that you can go ahead and live in your emotions and your attractions, which brought you to your current marriage to my good old sister Marsha here. And by the way, I was in that wedding, honey. I was cute.
That's right.
I was in that wedding. That was cute. And you guys actually about to celebrate that anniversary in August again. Come on now, right? Come on now.
Year 4.
Yeah. So, but I applaud you for even digging to understand that question, because it's okay to still be on your journey and figuring things and making sense of things. And that shows, and that also probably just helps someone to say, well, let me think about that.
Mhm.
When I figure out my truth, when did I see that? I can tell you when Ron was on this live with me prior, he was like, yeah, we thought he said he dated a girl. I was like, you dated a girl? Who is she? She got lucky. He said, no, I did not say that. I did not say that. But I know that it's been for you, your truth was pretty early on, right, Ron?
Yeah. So I actually did date a girl. I had a girlfriend in high school. All 4 years of high school. I went to 4 proms. I've been out. Yeah. I played football. I played basketball. I was on the football team. Um, I was. It's funny because if we go back and if I go back into my mind, right? So I have an older brother, and I remember being, a young kid, and he was playing basketball, and he would be at the basketball practice with him, and I would be upstairs with the cheer. And I learned all the cheers, and I would go home and show my grandmother the cheers. I remember that, right? So then that was probably second grade. Fast forward to like fifth grade is when I started to play sports. So I played basketball up until eighth grade, then went to high school, and then I played football all 4 years. Um, had a girlfriend, dated women, but I always knew there was something different. Did I know it was gay? Did I even think that I like men? No, but there was something that I was just like, there's something else going on, but I don't really know what it is. But I know everybody is talking about the girlfriend that they have, or what girl they're taking to the prom, and so you kind of get conditioned to think like, oh well, I guess this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I would say I knew for a very, very long time. When I accepted it was probably my second year of college. Yeah, my second year of college. I actually met the first guy in person that I've ever talked to my freshman year of college. But that meeting was so awkward and uncomfortable. It lasted less than 5 minutes. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go. This is not what I thought was happening. So, and then I like waited almost over another year before I even engaged with another guy. So it was some time.
I take it back, ladies. Someone did get an opportunity to date Mr. Ron. I heard it wrong. I don't have a problem correcting myself. But I want to talk about that because you and DJ are very attractive men. But not only that, you guys are both well educated and y'all give a lot of love. And I love that about the both of you as a couple and as individual. I joke about it all the time. And best believe I love my husband, honey. I love my little teddy bear, honey. Mr. Ross is my thing. And going on 20 years next year, honey. 20 years of marriage next year. Thank you. I tell you, it takes applause on that too. But I do this because I believe that people need to really see, because you still have a lot of naysayers. That everybody is really just human living their best life and just loving who they love. They just loving who makes them happy in other spaces other than to put a show on for you. This is probably why, Paul, you didn't see me come on going, word, cover girl, hey, because people expect certain things when we talk about pride. They expect a big show, but we need to also talk about the things that's harder to talk about as well, for people can find some understanding to help them cope with whatever they're dealing with. Because I can tell you that I know I didn't talk to some people and some of their conversations just gird me. Recently, we had a young lady who's a transgender who came to work for us where I work at. And of course, my eyes lit up because I was like, oh, we about to have a ball, because I haven't had a fun girl in a while. Some people were just stuffy. And she came in full beat, hair nice. She had on heels. I said, baby, you're going to be out of them in 2 days because you ain't going to be able to wear heels doing what we do, okay? But it was like she was just living everything. And I was told, hey, look, she identified as she, right? And I'm like, perfect. And that made it my business. To me, I just felt like it was my duty to make sure she felt comfortable and didn't have to feel like she had to be anything else but what she wanted to be. Right? And of course, she was still in transition, so it's still some sense of you can tell that there was a transition there, right? And I'm telling these boys and these men, honey, if I catch you sneaking and cleaning, it's gonna be me and you. Like I'm like in the background talking. I'm the bully now. Like, do it. I dare you. to say
Mhm.
something stupid, and but she ended up deciding that it wasn't going to be for her pretty much because guess what? She was a makeup artist too, and she was also doing some other shows, and we worked 12 hours a day. But I believe that young lady came in my life just to remind me that it is okay to be who you want to be in
Mhm.
any space you want to be in. For the 2 days that we spend together, honey, she has a lasting memory on me, all because of what I just said. I gear towards and I go towards joy, happiness, people
Mhm.
being exactly who they are. And I think she did the same thing for other people when she lived as she came to me before her last day, and I didn't know it was her last day. But she was just like, I just love you. You made me feel so comfortable, and kudos on making sure they know what she means.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I'm here for you, girl, because I'm all about people being cared for in the right times, in the right spaces. Um, but we did talk to, I mean, that's my little rant about stuff, but I'm just talking about people coming into your life from any period of time. You have to pay attention to the lessons that you're receiving or the blessings that you're receiving.
Hey,
And
one thing I was going to add to that too, I think what the most important thing is, because I, as a gay man, there's still things that we're learning, all of these new pronouns and how to
Mhm.
interact with people and how they want to be called and addressed. And, that's still a learning experience for me. So I want the world and people who are, gay, straight, bi, whatever, to understand like we're all still learning. So as long as approach the situation with respect and care, like it's okay. Like we don't know everything, you know what I mean? I would have probably engaged her and had a great conversation or whatever, and it would have been no problem. But there's still things I just don't know. I have my own research to do, and I'm Googling too. I'm looking up like, okay, so this is how, they want to be addressed. Okay, just making sure I understand. So I just encourage everybody, no matter your sexuality, just continue to learn because it's gonna keep changing. It's gonna keep changing. New things are gonna come out. People are gonna want to be addressed a certain way, and we just have to say okay, and we have to adapt to it.
Mhm. I agree. So, Paul, you talking to two sets? Well, the DJ not here, but the married people. You're single, honey. Come
I
on,
am. I am.
you're single. So talk about the fun side of things. Is dating life fun out there, honey? How is dating in the
I
single?
often often tell my homegirls there's no bet on my side of the tracks. Dating is interesting. I'm 30 years old, so I'm dating in a different capacity now. I do think, like Ron said, as soon as he said, like, you keep learning, it's a constant thing where you're figuring out yourself, like Purusha said as well. Um, learning takes place on a continuum. And so as you have these experiences, you figure out what you want, what you don't want. As a black gay man, I'm figuring out what I want out of my partner. I thought I had it all figured out at 18,
Right.
going into college. I thought I had it figured out at 22. Thought I had it figured out at 25. Thought I knew what I wanted at 28 too. At 30, I want something totally different. And so I'm enjoying the fact that I have the ability to date. And you get into the stereotypical toxicity and you learn about things that you're going to be your non-negotiables, etc., etc. So it is an experience.
I love it. Well, Paul has a new big sister. Hi. Okay. Don't play. Okay. Don't play. Yeah, we rap for hours. We cover
Yes,
hours as
yes,
well.
definitely.
I want everything you want in your life, sweetheart. If you decide to date for the rest of your life, that's fine too. If you decide one day to settle down, that's fine too. I just
Prayerfully, I will.
Come
Prayerfully.
on. Yeah, I feel like you got a lot to love. As a makeup artist, honey, you're also a social worker, a therapist, style consultant. You got a lot of hats that goes on in that beautiful brain of yours. And I just I'm really grateful that all of you took the time to have this moment with me. And I really feel like that we done great justice to our community as a whole, not just the gay community, but our community as a whole, our Black community, our human race community, our bus community, honey, our style community. And it's something to say about when people are willing to be vulnerable enough to have this conversation. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said before, that you really, Paul said, I come on, I was ready to be shay ten about the makeup. And
Yeah.
then Ross in here talking about something. How do I feel? What do you mean?
Okay.
How do I feel?
Hitting you with a good Dr. Phil
Yeah.
today.
And but again, it to me it shows our ability and willingness to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this main thing is about. And I know for me, because I live my heart on my sleeve. I can't tell you why I don't. I live my heart on my sleeve. I love heart. I get my feelings hurt a lot of time because I love heart. But then I have this other side of me. Hey, baby, that was a moment. Get over it. Move on about your business. I don't settle for nothing. Right. I feel like that, when you become a part of somebody's life in any capacity, you want to do your best. All you
Mm-hmm.
do is your best. You're not perfect. And as you all live on and continue to live in your best life. And of course, it's something that we'll be talking about. We talk about it every month. The fact that you're gay men and gay women, whoo, hoo, hoo.
Mhm.
But in the midst of it all, you are a fabulous makeup artist. You are a fabulous educator. You do good in corporate America, Ron, but I can style anybody that walk through my door. Come on, give them everything in a bag. Marsha, you served our country, baby. I couldn't take a bullet for nobody, honey. I told my kids, don't act up, okay? Because I'm throwing you out there with a bulletproof the vest on. Mommy I can't take no bullet. And you decide to take it for the whole country. You know what I mean? And you didn't care whether or not you were gay or straight. You said, I'm human and I'm going to protect my country. And Perugia, I know it's always been one thing that you wanted to do is just give back to the women around you, people around you. And it's not always easy, especially we all deal with the stress of maintaining ourselves. And let's not even get into the fact of the mental health that we're dealing with, the suicide rate for these children who in the gay community, trans community, because they're not feeling accepted, and getting just brutalized just because they're living who they are. It's just all ridiculous. And I think more conversations like this will help educate some people who don't necessarily get this conversation all the time and get
Mm-hmm.
an understanding of where these things are. And so I appreciate you. Look, my forehead is shining. Sorry. A moment. A
Look,
moment.
better say that like together.
It happened in that very moment because it hit the right. But it happened in that moment because you know what? Gay people make me joyful. Gay equal happy. I love it. I love it. I love it. And in closing, because you guys been great. You've been absolutely wonderful. Marsha, I'm gonna start with you. Now I'm gonna put a timer on you. Okay. Just want to let y'all know my good sister like to talk. And
Yes,
it's
go.
all right with that. But I'm gonna put a timer on you. But this is something interesting. I would love to know. I'm gonna hit you with a RuPaul situation. What would you tell little Marsha right now?
Mm. You know what? I would tell Marsha to live authentically. You're going to face many people, different colors, races, backgrounds, who are going to stand in your way and try and prevent you from seeing your prize. Don't ever give up. Listen to your mama and daddy and stay in school. Do the things that the shoulders that I stand on are quite broad. And I would tell my young self that I have a responsibility to balance myself on those shoulders.
I love that. Oop, I said it. My catchphrase for the night. Come on, Perusia. What would you tell little Perusia?
I know there's a timer on me as well. Um, I would say to little Purusha, hmm, it's a that yeah. Come back to me. It's an emotional thing because little Purusha didn't have all. what she has today. And she had to endure a lot of heartache and childhood trauma. Um, I would say be strong and know that you are enough. I would say that no matter the direction that life has taken you, you will go further and take everything that you learn and utilize it to the best of your ability. I liken a lot of our life situations. I don't know if anyone has ever seen Slumdog Millionaire, but everything in his life prepared him for actually winning a lottery. Go figure. And your life experience is your teacher, and use all of those things to keep your eye on the prize and know that there's so much more out there for
You did good, Big Perusia.
you.
I like what you tell Little Perusia. Paul, I'm gonna put you in a seat that I put Ron in earlier to follow these two women, right? What would you tell little Paul Handsome?
I would I think I might have invented a new one because usually you know I got one of these every year for my kids. I would tell little Paul, I would definitely say, don't let your tears go to waste. Water the seeds you've planted and know one day you won't eat.
Mm,
Um, I definitely have found, I think, in the manifestation of things, coming up at 30, and now I have a certain amount of things. Like Purusha said, I have more now than I've ever probably had in my life.
Mhm.
Um, and I just understand, hard work and you really do reap what you sow, and being good and karma, and the universe will give you what you put out. Those things are really, really true. And oftentimes I think we want to rush the process, but I think now more than ever is an important time to recognize what you put out, you will get back. Even if it takes some time, just stay in there, keep fighting, keep going, don't give up, keep working hard, keep your hand up on that plow. You know what I mean? I definitely would say that to myself.
Come on. I like what y'all saying to the little people. I love it. Ron, what you gonna tell little Ron?
Look, I don't know why you thought me going after Paul was gonna be me. Different. Hey, oh damn! Actually, first before I get into that, I just want to shout you out, Lorraine. You are an awesome spirit, and I know that sentiment is definitely felt amongst this panel. You do a lot for us as people, us as the community. You're definitely an ally, and you lead with love. So we appreciate you. So I did want to make sure I said that publicly. I tell you that all the time, all my 10,000 emojis in our text thread and all this stuff. But I truly do love you and appreciate you. You are my sister, and I know I'm speaking for everyone. We truly thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
See, I had to like cushion my little young. No, no, but definitely from the heart. With that, what I would tell my younger self, start that business earlier. Um,
Mm,
Definitely learn the value of money earlier, because you have the gifts and the talents to go wherever you want to go,
mhm.
and do not wait until you think everybody else is ready for it. As soon as you were ready for it, you will be ready for it. Definitely take those gifts and create some magic.
Mm. Well, I appreciate all of you, and I really, really do appreciate you speaking on that, Ron. I do things basically because I feel for them. I usually don't do them for acknowledgement because when I go to bed at night, I always say, "Do you sleep well?"
Mm,
And I sleep well at night, knowing that I'm being exactly who I need to be. And I do that, and I do that well, and it's because of people like all of you who still feed into me and feed me that joy as well. Because, honey, like they said, your strong friends need that as well.
mm,
And I find myself often being strong for a lot of reasons, but it's such a blessing to just hear these words that come out of people's mouth unprompted. You know what I mean? It's like You felt it. I felt it. I love you and I appreciate you for saying it. And for me, being, I talk about it, being that chocolate little chubby girl and growing up, and, people, automatically assuming that I wouldn't make it so far because I had a child earlier and all kinds of stuff, and then to find my way into this community of just pour out. We just pour out to each
Mhm.
other in certain ways. But I do really believe it's very important to make sure you find time for your mental and yourself, because
That's right.
otherwise you will put yourself in some really interesting positions. And believe this, baby, if you get in those positions, sweetheart, it's okay to restart. It's
Mm,
okay.
yes, it
Take
is.
your moments, do what you need to do, and get on and restart. And I tell people all the time, you can have a moment, but you only allowed a moment, sweetheart. And they need to come far, far in between. But if
Mhm.
they come closer, that's okay. Have your moment. But you get on up because it's only a moment. It's not a lifetime. It's not something we're going to take and say this is going to be who we are. So now I'm going to take it in my fun way. So about 10 seconds of a little bit of fun, and you have to dance with me. You have to dance with me because that's what they want to see anyway. Anybody who's watching, hi, you should have stayed on. We about
I
to
think I
dance.
got a bad connection. Is anybody my Wi-Fi going out?
Oh, don't go away.
No,
Don't
I'm
go away. Let's see what happens. Can y'all hear that?
Baby, I am America. I'm a
All
strong
right.
just like you. Baby, I am America. You've been begging for the truth. Truth is, I love you even when you get offended. Truth is, I love you, so come on and split the difference.
Baby, I am America.
Let me make it crystal clear.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for jamming with me. I love you all.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you, thank you, thank
Lorraine.
you.
Until, well, next year. We'll be
Until
back
next
again,
year.
honey. I love my people, and that's all people. If no one told you that they love you tonight, you better know we do. Because we love
That's
you.
right.
We love you guys. Bye, y'all. Mwah.
Bye.
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 Baby, I am America. Listen, if you didn't get to see the whole thing from the beginning, I encourage you to push play. I encourage you to send this to someone who might be having some difficult moments and to, just relax, enjoy the joy and the beauty of pride. And again, if no one told you that they love you, do know that I do because God said so. Mwah. Have a good night and happy Pride, everybody. Live in color. Mm, mm, mm.